Hey there, Hillary. Are you there? Is now a good time to talk? Oh, I really hope it is because I have some big news that I just have to share with you right this second. The thing is, well, you know your fiancé Felix? Well, I stole him from you. He's all mine, so you'll just have to go through your silly little wedding all by yourself.
Opal, I knew that this was all you. Do you have any idea what you've just done by doing this to me?
Of course I know what I've just done by stealing your fiancé Felix away from you. And what I did was I stole your fiancé, the man who you were supposed to marry, your man who you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, from you. And now we're going to run off and elope together. It really is all just so romantic once you stop and think about it. Don't you agree with me?
You really have some nerve pulling something like this. Do you know that? I mean, just when did you and Felix even get that close anyways, huh?
Well, I think we actually started to feel this way from the moment that we laid eyes on each other. You remember when you brought over Felix that one time to our house to introduce him to our family because you two had just gotten engaged, right? Well, it was then, on that day, when he came over to our house because you brought him, that we fell in love.
I see. Well, fine. If you two really make each other that happy, then far be it from me to stop you. You can have him.
You don't have to pretend to be so tough just for me, you know? You're just upset that now you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. I wonder how things are going over there at your wedding venue. I'm sure that people are already starting to whisper about where the groom could be. But don't worry. If anyone asks what is taking Felix so long to arrive, you can tell them all that I'm doing you the favor of marrying him in your place. Isn't that great?
I already said that you can do whatever you want. I don't get why you insist on keeping this conversation going.
You really are just so sad. Do you know that, sis? I mean, it's just so obvious how you're just trying to act tough right now. But I know that you're just heartbroken. What are you going to do with your life from here on out, huh? I mean, you don't even have a job, right? Weren't you totally relying on Felix to help support you? Well, what are you going to do now that your walking ATM has decided to go to another woman?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have a very respectable job and no money troubles, so I don't know where you heard that.
No. Come on, there is no need to lie to me about this. I already have the whole truth. I know that you don't make that much money and that you need Felix to be comfortable. I mean, Felix makes a ton of money from his job, so that's why you quit your job when you two got engaged, isn't that right? So I just want to know what you're going to do with your life now that you don't have a guy like Felix to take care of everything for you.
Well, I really appreciate your concern for me, sister, but I would rather you just butt out and leave me alone.
Oh, come on. You don't really think I'm just going to not worry about my sister, right? We're family. Of course I'm going to worry about you. I mean, you're not even going to be able to keep living in our parents' house after this, so I'm just really worried about what you're going to do from here on out.
I won't be able to live at Mom and Dad's house anymore. Just what do you mean by that?
Well, isn't it obvious? Felix canceled his lease for the apartment where the two of you were living, so now you only have until the end of this month to pack all of your bags and move out. Did you really think you were going to keep living there for free?
Wait, what? You mean Felix just told the leasing office that we weren't going to be keeping our lease? But he can't just do that.
Well, I'm afraid it's far too late to do anything about it now. It's already been done and there is nothing that you can do about it. So good luck living out the rest of your sad, lonely life.
Hillary, are you okay? How are you doing right now?
Hi there, Mom. I'm doing fine, I guess. I don't really know what else to say right now.
Well, I just want you to know that if there is anything that I can do for you, you can always ask me for help, you know.
That's very much like you, Mom. Thank you for always being there for me. But I really just don't even know what anyone could do in a situation like this. I mean, to think that my own little sister, that Opal would do this to me, steal my fiancé on the day we were supposed to get married?
I know. I really have no idea how she expects to come back from this. I know that your dad is just furious about this. He woke up the happiest I'd seen him in years, and now...
And to think that the day started so well for everyone, I just can't believe that it's all turned to this. I'm really just shocked. I don't know what else can even be said about it. Though, I suppose that I really shouldn't be all that surprised by this.
What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean that you shouldn't have been surprised? Did you know something about your sister and Felix?
Well, I kind of noticed that they seemed to be getting along really well, but I guess I just never wanted to dig into it more than I needed to. I knew that something weird was up, but I did a bit of looking. Dad wanted to look deeper into what it could be. But I guess this is what I get for letting it go on so long without doing anything about it.
I see. That must have been really hard on you then, Hillary. Especially knowing what you know now. I'm sorry that I never noticed that anything was going on either. I should have been more vigilant for my daughter.
Mom, please. There's no way that you could have seen this coming more than anyone else. But whatever, I'm over it. I just want to work on putting this as far behind me as possible. I need a drink.
I really understand how you feel, Hillary. But I don't think that you're going to find what you're looking for at the end of a bottle. But anyways, once you've packed up all your bags, you should come over to our house. You can still do your work even if you're at someone else's house, right?
Yeah, my company really doesn't care where I'm working as long as I have a connection to the internet. Thank you so much, Mom. You've always been there for me, and I just want you to know that I really appreciate it.
Hillary, please. You're my daughter. You don't need to thank your own mom for doing her job. I'm just sorry that things had to turn out this way.
Me too, Mom. Me too. Mind if I ask you to make something really special for dinner tonight?
Of course. I'll talk to your dad, and him and I will plan something amazing for us all to eat together tonight. But you shouldn't just lose this opportunity that you have here, you know. You have so many family members and friends who have to see you, and you should spend time with them.
That's a good way to think about it, Mom. Everything is already paid for anyways, so we might as well enjoy ourselves.
Hey there, Hillary. It has been a really, really long time since you and I have last spoken, huh? I was just wondering where you were living right now. I am visiting back home right now, and I really wanted to see you.
You've come back to visit him? What are you even talking about? Why are you even here?
I mean that I've come back to our hometown because I'm pregnant and I want to have my child where our family came from. And of course, it should go without saying that the child I'm carrying right now is none other than your former fiancé, my current husband, Felix's.
Wow. Well, I think you really have some nerve coming back to town like nothing has happened at all. I mean, you really have some serious nerve to do that. Do you know that? I think if I were you, I would never want anyone who knew me to ever see my face again. I think I would be way too ashamed of what I've done.
Well, what else am I supposed to do? I'm pregnant with a baby, so I have to have it in our hometown. I mean, isn't this what everyone does? I'm not about to skip doing this just because of what some nosy neighbors might have to say about me. Besides, I just know that Mom and Dad are going to be so happy to see me. This is going to be their first grandchild ever, after all. I'm sure they'll let everything go in light of that, don't you think?
You really think that Mom and Dad are going to want anything to do with you? You really don't know a thing, do you? You better not try to come near me or our parents ever again, got it?
Oh, come on now. There's no need to be like this, you know? Really, why are you being so rude to your pregnant sister? I'm only coming back because I want my family to support me while I'm pregnant. So anyways, really, what I'm trying to ask if you could move out of Mom and Dad's house for me.
And just why on earth would I ever want to do something like that for someone like you, huh?
Well, because I'm doing what's expected of me by coming back home to have my kid. So you should do whatever you can to help me by moving out of Mom and Dad's house and making room for me.
Opal, literally what in the world are you talking about? Do you really think that you could just show up and demand that kind of thing from me?
Oh, please. You're going to talk to me like that when you're nothing but a little leech on our parents? The least you could do for our family is to give up your room for me, your pregnant little sister. Besides, you have to know by now that Mom and Dad would much rather have you out of their house and hair than being the bum that you really are. Although I can't say that I blame you for wanting to stay so long there. After all, they are really, really good cooks. That would be tough to give up.
Opal, do you have any idea just how much of a terrible person you are? I mean, do you have any self-awareness at all, or do you just go through life not thinking about a single thing?
You think that I'm joking with you. I am pregnant with a child. I am thinking about the future, and that's why I'm here right now. So in case you haven't noticed, I am being the more productive daughter and now have more value than you in this family. So get that through your thick head right now.
You really need a reality check, do you know that? I mean, you want to talk about being family, but then try and kick me out of my own room? I'm sorry, Opal, but nobody is in the mood to take orders from you at all right now. Got it? So why don't you just turn around and never ever come back here?
There you are again, trying to act so tough for me even though you know I'm the stronger out of the two of us. I mean, do you really think that I'm going to be scared over my unemployed sister who still lives with our parents? Fat chance!
And just who do you think you are to make fun of people being jobless when you don't work either?
I am pregnant. I don't have to work because I have a good excuse to get out of it, thank you very much. Besides, just why in the world would I waste time working when I have my husband, Felix of course, to make all the money that we'll ever need? There's just no point in me even going out to work since it would hardly make a difference compared to what Felix is bringing home every month.
So you really think that Felix is as rich as you imagine him to be then?
Aw, are you really concerned about my married life when you don't have a job, man, prospects, and any hope for the future at all? Just who do you think you are to talk to me like that, huh?
I'm sorry, Opal. Are you done here? I have things I need to get back to doing now.
Of course we're not through here. I'm still going to be coming home and I still want you out of your room so that I can stay there. You're old enough to be married and yet you're still living with mom and dad. If they aren't going to kick you out into the real world, then I will.
Well, that's going to be a problem when my boyfriend and I live together in a nice condo building.
You're such a liar. Do you really think that I'm going to buy that? You're so pathetic it's beyond sad at this point.
Well, I don't know what to tell you except that I'm being totally honest. But yeah, it's the truth. I don't even live with mom and dad anymore, so... I mean, did you really think that nothing would change in anyone's life for 2 years while you ran around and did what you did?
There you go again, trying to talk down to me. I thought I told you to cut that out. I already know that you're lying, so I don't get why you insist on being like this. But I know that there's no way that you're dating anyone. That's just too much. And to think that on top of that, you're trying to tell me that you and him live together in some nice big building? Nice try. Even if I were to accept that all that were true, I bet that it's not even your place. You just moved from leeching off mom and dad to some poor sap.
There you go again, making assumptions about things that you have no idea about. Just when did I say that it was my boyfriend's condo, huh? You really have no idea at all about what my life has been like.
Well, I know that when we last talked, you had a terrible job and could barely even support yourself with Felix there to cover all the big expenses.
I already told you that when Felix and I got married, I didn't quit working or anything like that. I just started freelancing with my skills instead. I was able to find clients willing to pay me much more than I was making when I was working for the company that I was at before. And since I don't have to go into an office or anything like that anymore, it really is much easier since I can work from anywhere I have internet, basically.
Wait a second. You mean that this whole time you've been working as a freelancer? You've got to be kidding me. I had no idea about any of that. But if you're a freelancer, then that's even worse than not having a job at all.
Wow, Opal, I really have to ask, do you ever get embarrassed about being so wrong about every little thing that you send to me? I mean, I feel like I would just start to have some shame after a while.
The only person who should feel ashamed about themselves and their lives is you, Hillary. You've done nothing with your life, and all you're doing is lying to me about what you're doing. This settles it. This whole thing is just a huge fib. You're still living with mom and dad, and you haven't had a job in years. So you better pack up your bags, because I'm going to be arriving to mom and dad soon, and I will be kicking you out whether you like it or not. Got it?
Opal, what is the matter with you? Have you not read any of the messages that I've been sending to you? I literally don't even live with mom and dad anymore. I live together with my boyfriend. There is no room to even pack up and move out to make room for you. Got it?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for you to show me around your condo and your boyfriend when I get to mom and dad's. I'm sure that you guys are living in the lap of luxury together.
You really have no idea at all about what you're talking about, do you?
Hey, Hillary, are you there? Seriously, I need you to respond to me right away. What the heck is going on? Did I miss something? I mean, what is this? Why is there nothing where our house used to be? It's just a parking lot here now.
Well, that would probably be because last year, mom and dad moved out of their house and sold the property to a development company who then proceeded to build a parking lot where mom and dad's house used to be on the property that was sold to them. So basically, to sum this all up in a very succinct and easy to understand brief encapsulation of the information that you're looking for now that you have gone there and seen that mom and dad have moved out of their house, mom and dad no longer live there.
But, I mean, so you're just telling me that mom and dad moved out of their house. And then not only that, but they sold the property that the house existed on to a company? And then that company demolished the house that was on the property that mom and dad sold to them, and in that same place they decided to make a parking lot? Why didn't you tell me about any of this earlier while we were talking? I told you that I was going to mom and dad's house. You should have told me that it isn't there anymore. I came all this way and there's no house left.
And just why should I have anything to tell you about it, huh? You're lucky that I even responded to this message to explain to you that mom and dad moved out and sold their house and that a parking lot was built where their house used to be. So if you really think that I owe you anything after all that you've done to me, you really do have something else coming.
But then, wait a second. What am I supposed to do if mom and dad aren't living in their house anymore?
I don't know. I guess you'll probably just have to go back to your house with Felix and have your baby there.
But no, you don't get it. But that just isn't going to work for me at all. Can you please just tell me where it is that mom and dad are living right now if they are not living here where they used to?
You want me to tell you where our mom and dad are living right now? No way. I am never going to tell you the place where both of our parents are currently residing.
But why not? Why won't you tell me the location of the place where our parents are currently living now that they've moved out of their old house?
Well, that's because mom and dad and even I want nothing to do with you ever again. You aren't a member of this family anymore. You made your choice when you betrayed me on the day that I was supposed to get married to Felix, but instead you stole him from me.
But wait, you all can't just cut me out of your lives like this. I mean, this is something we should all deal with together as a family. How can I say my piece if I don't know where anyone lives?
It's okay. I don't really think that any of us care all that much about what you have to say anyways, so you can save it. And that's why I am not going to be telling you where it is that our parents have moved to.
Well, fine. If you aren't going to tell me where mom and dad are living right now, then I guess I'll call mom and have her tell me herself.
Yeah, that really isn't going to work out any better for you. You should know.
Hey, Mom, are you there? It's your youngest daughter, Opal. I know it's been a long time since we've talked, but you still remember me, right? I was actually going to visit home to surprise you and Dad, but when I got to where our house used to be, there's nothing but a parking lot here. So, anyways, I was wondering if you could please tell me where it is that you and Dad are now currently living since you both moved out of the old house? I have lots of presents that I need to give you, so please tell me where I can go to give them to you.
Hello and goodbye.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Hold it right there. It is me, your daughter. You can't just say hello and then goodbye to me.
Actually, you are no longer my daughter as far as I am concerned. I have no idea who you are, but you are nothing to me.
What are you talking about, Mom? It's me. It's Opal. Mom, it's me, your daughter. You remember me, won't you? Please tell me that you know who I am.
I'm sorry, but I only have one daughter, and her name is Hillary. I don't think I know a single person named Opal. No, I'm thinking about it, and no one really comes to mind at all.
know that Hillary said you all wanted to cut me out of your life, but not like this. I didn't think that she was being serious. Please, Mom, you can't just pretend like I never existed. I'm your daughter. You have to know that. Just please tell me where you and Dad are living.
I'm really sorry, but I am not about to give out my address to some person I have never met in my life.
Mom, please, don't talk to me like this. It's me, your daughter. You know me. I've tried calling Dad's phone over and over again, but he isn't taking any of my calls or getting back to my messages. But we're all family. You can't just treat me like this. You're being so cruel to me right now.
Cruel? You want to talk about cruel? I don't think that the person who stole their own sister's husband has a right to talk about what is and isn't cruel. Do you have any idea the pain that you caused Hillary?
But I mean, does this mean that you remembered who I really am then, Mom?
Well, I don't know how I was supposed to keep up that act when you were sitting there crying as if you were the victim in all of this and not your sister. But if you really want to know, your father and I haven't and will never forgive you for what you did to poor Hillary. And by the way, you should also know that we all know your little secret.
Wait, secret? What are you talking about? What secret are you talking about that you're saying that you all know about?
You know exactly the secret that I told you that we all know that you were trying to keep quiet but has become known.
Wait, what? That sentence barely even made sense. I don't get it. Please, you have to know it wasn't my fault. It's just that all my life I felt like Hillary was the better sister. I thought that if I could just make Felix mine that it would prove that we were equals. Please don't leave me, Mom. I didn't think that things would go like this.
Nobody ever compared you to your sister, and nobody ever put you down compared to Hillary. If you really did always feel that way, then that is unfortunate. But that is still your problem, and you should have sought professional help for it.
Wait, what? You mean, you think I should have just gone to see a mental health professional about this complex that I've developed? That's the stupidest advice that I've ever heard.
Well, you can call it what you like, but it doesn't change the fact that you've lost your family because of delusions that you have never sought to address in a healthy way. But when you betrayed your sister like that on the day that she was supposed to be getting married, you crossed a line that is never going to be uncrossed. You removed yourself from this family.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that, Mom? You can't really think that I thought that I was removing myself from the family when I did what I did, right?
I heard that you were coming to try and surprise us with a visit, so we told everyone that we know to not tell you our address under any circumstances. So you're never going to find us. The smart thing to do would be to turn around and go home. If you even have a place to go home to, that is.
So then you really do know about the secret that I was confused about you knowing earlier. I didn't think that you actually knew it, but that last sentence really confirms that you must know it.
Well, anyways, I don't have anything else to say to a woman like you. So have a good life.
Hey, sis, are you there right now? I was just curious why you told me to go back to Felix's earlier.
Are you stupid or something? Why do you think I would tell you something like that? It's because I want you to go home already.
Right, but I mean, do you have any idea at all why it is that I'm coming home by myself to have this child? I'm sure that you have to know the truth if you've talked to Mom about this at all. But what I don't get is why would you pretend to not know the secret that I'm talking about that you are saying you don't know but that I think you know because Mom knows and that's how I know that you know?
Well, I don't think this really has anything to do with me. It sounds more like a question that you need to answer yourself.
Wait. What do you mean? So you know that Felix is going to be arrested?
I had heard that Felix appeared to have gotten himself in some kind of legal trouble or something of the sort. The articles I was reading have something to do about running scams from the company. I guess it really is a good thing that you stole a man like that from me.
But then you know how much trouble I'm in since he is going to be arrested for doing exactly what you said. That is, scamming people through his company, which he is going to be arrested for, right?
Well, I just don't think it's my business since it's between you and your husband. After all, Felix and I never got married, remember?
Please, I don't have money and Felix's assets have been frozen. I don't have a place to go home to and I don't have any way to support myself at all. I'm already swimming in my own debt. You have to help me. I don't know how I'm supposed to go on like this right now. You have to do something.
And just why in the world do you think that your problems have anything to do with me at all, huh?
Please, you have to help me. I'm pregnant and I have no money and I'm homeless. Don't you have any pity for me in your heart at all?
Oh, please, are you still telling people that you're pregnant? You know that no one believes that, right?
But I don't get it. How did you figure out that I was lying about being pregnant this whole time?
Because I already knew that Felix isn't able to have any children of his own. So if you were really pregnant, then there would only be a few explanations of what could have happened. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm wasting my time talking to you. You know that none of us are going to help you and that you've already lost your place in this family. Why don't you just disappear out of all our lives again and leave us alone, huh? After that, I blocked Opal on everything as she proceeded to blow up my phone with so many messages begging me for help and not to leave her alone. And after I blocked her, I never heard from her again. I heard that she even managed to track my boyfriend and I to what city we were living in, but she still couldn't find us. She begged family and friends and everyone she could think of for information on where our parents, as well as I, had moved to, but no one was interested in telling her. In fact, I think most people took that as a sign to block her as well. So if Opal really was drowning in debt and had no home to go to, then I really have no idea what she's up to at all. I hear some news come down through the grapevine now and then about someone who thinks they might have seen her. As for Felix, I heard he was arrested and is serving jail time for his fraud charges. He also had no one willing to stand up for him after what he did to me either. So I really have no idea who Opal could have turned to for help, but anyways, I say good riddance. You might be wondering about where it was that my mom and dad did end up moving to. Well, my boyfriend was actually a very wealthy real estate agent, so when we all decided to move away from our hometown to avoid Opal, just in case she were ever to return one day, like she eventually ended up doing, he was able to help my parents find a good deal on a new place to live. Funny enough, if Opal had managed to track my boyfriend and I down, then she certainly would have been able to find mom and dad because after they sold their house and moved out, they moved into the condo just a few floors beneath ours. We've really enjoyed getting to live so close to each other, but we all realize how dangerous it might be if Opal were to show up.
Amy, how are you? What are you doing right now? Hurry up and answer my messages. I know you're not busy. I bet you're just lying around doing nothing.
Helen, hi. I'm fine. Hope you're well too. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to the phone quicker. I was driving. I need to prepare dinner when I get home, so I'm just out and doing groceries shopping.
What about your son? Is he with you?
Your parents were kind enough to offer to watch him. They're at home right now. Will loves his grandparents, so it's good for them to have some quality time together.
Oh, I knew it. Don't give me that excuse. You don't think it's quality time for them. You're just being lazy.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
You're making my mom take care of your son, aren't you? Because you can't be bothered to take care of him yourself, right? I bet you just moved in with my parents because you knew they'd offer to watch him and wanted to take advantage of their kindness.
That wasn't the reason why we decided to move into your parents' house, but it's true that they've been really supportive. It's thanks to them that I can go on my part-time job without worrying about Will. I'm really grateful for their help.
Good for you. You've only got one kid, but you've got all the help you can get. You can leave him with your husband's parents and do whatever you like. Usually, people only ask grandparents for help when they really need it, considering their age. But you think you can use them as much as you like because you're so important. How arrogant can you get?
I don't know where you got that idea, but that's not true. I'm not doing whatever I like, and I'm only relying on them because your brother has to go on long-term business trips for work. David's the one who first suggested we move in with your parents because he's away so much. I'm doing as many of the chores as I can when I'm at home, and of course I wish I could be at home all the time so I don't have to ask them to watch Will. But I don't want to be completely reliant on them for money either, so I want to earn some money so that I can cover some of the bills myself.
Oh, come on. You're not as good a liar as you think you are, Amy. I know that you don't actually think any of that. You just want a part-time job so that my parents will think that you're working hard. You just want to take advantage of them.
I can't believe that you'd think I was just using them. I really am just doing what I think is right.
I have 3 children, you know, and they want to see their grandparents too. But because you're living with my parents, I can't visit. Do you know how long it's been since they last all saw each other? My parents haven't even met my youngest. Do you understand? It's all your fault. You're getting in the way of my children's quality time with my parents. You're splitting up a family because you can't be bothered to take care of one kid.
I think it's amazing that you're able to take care of 3 children. I don't know how you do it without the help. You could come visit whenever you like, but the reason why you can't come and stay is because your second son is allergic to your parents' dog, isn't he?
That's not the problem. Were you even listening to me? Why do you always have to interrupt me with the most irrelevant comments? Anyway, back to the conversation. I'm going to move in with my parents. I want you out right now.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, this is all so sudden. I can't keep up. What are you talking about? Why do I have to move out?
What's so hard to understand? I'm telling you to leave. Is it so bad for me to want to live with my own parents?
I'm not saying it's bad, I just don't understand. You're saying that you want to move in with your parents and live with them in the same house?
Of course, that's what I mean. What else could move in mean? Are you an idiot? Why do I have to explain such a simple sentence? I'm moving in. Capiche?
I'm sorry, I was just surprised. Do you mean that you'll be moving in with your family? Your kids too? What will you do about Ricky's dog allergy?
That's right. Do you really think I'd leave my children behind? You don't have to worry about that. I'll get my parents to give the dog away. It's as simple as that. My children are more important.
But your parents love their dog. I think they'd be really sad to part ways. Does your husband agree with all of this? Won't it be tougher for him to get to work if he lives farther away from his office?
My husband will be fine. It's none of your business, but he won't be living with us. He'll be living by himself.
Okay. Do you mean that he'll be going away on business like David?
Like I said, it got nothing to do with you. You really are so nosy. Why can't you just shut up and accept what I've decided?
You're right, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. My curiosity got the better of me. But if you're going to move in, then have you already spoken to your parents? I haven't heard anything from them about any of this, so I was wondering if it might have slipped their minds to mention it. Or maybe you hadn't spoken to them about it yet.
I'll tell them when I feel like it. It's not like they need a warning or anything. They're my parents, not yours. They'll be delighted to hear that I'm coming home. And I'm the eldest daughter. It's my job to take care of my parents. They'll feel much more at ease with me taking care of them rather than a complete stranger. That way they can see their favorite grandchildren too. So I'm asking you to leave. You're just in the way.
I'm sorry, what? You haven't told them anything?
I don't have to. All I have to do is make sure you and your stuff are out of my parents' house so that I can move in. We can't all live in there together. It'll be too cramped. I'm their daughter and have 3 children, so I take precedence. You may have married my brother, but that doesn't make you more important than me. I move in, and you and your son move out. Simple as that.
Even if you say that, it's not something that can be done straight away or even in a few days. If that's what you were planning, then you should have mentioned something or given me a warning or at least asked for your family's opinion. Have you spoken to David?
Of course I haven't. Don't you know where your own husband is? He's on the other side of the world. How am I supposed to get in touch with him without losing sleep? Do you really want me to bother him with something so trivial while he's working? And you call yourself his wife. Why can't you just accept what I've told you to do? You can tell David when he gets home from his business trip.
I understand that you don't want to bother him, but if you haven't spoken to David or your own parents, how did you decide all of this? You can't just decide by yourself. That's way too self-centered.
Of course I decided by myself. My mom and dad have no reason to say no to me. They love me the most. I may be an adult, but I still have them wrapped around my little finger. If they hear that they'll get to live with me and their grandchildren, they'll be overjoyed. That's why I should be the one living with them, not you. Do you understand, or was that too difficult for you as well?
That might be true, but you can't honestly think that you can just decide that behind all of our backs.
You may not realize it, but you're causing a lot of trouble for my mom by making her take care of your son. He's only turned 1 recently, right? Do you know how hard it is for someone my mom's age to watch a kid that young? I can't just stand by and watch as you take advantage of my mom.
You're right. I've caused her a lot of trouble, and I'm really grateful for all the time she's dealt with Will's tantrums and hyperactiveness while I've been at work. But you can't decide this without her opinion. Besides, your youngest is still only 6 months old, isn't she? I think that would be more of a burden.
Oh, shut up. You think you're better than me, but you're not. Unlike someone, I actually stay at home and take care of my own kids rather than go out to work and waste my time. I won't ask my mom to babysit. I take pride in taking care of my kids myself.
Neither one of us is better than the other. I respect you for being a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. I happen to go out to work a part-time job, but why does that mean that I'm wasting my time? We're each doing what we think we should do in our own situations. Isn't that enough? Either way, I can't up and leave so easily.
Why not?
Because where am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to move all of mine and David's stuff without any help from David? Maybe I could move out after David comes back, but I can't find a place at such short notice, and I can't accept a decision you made without consulting any of us.
You can leave David's things. He's family, after all. We'll store his things carefully until he comes back. You just have to take your stuff, your son, and get out.
You're being unreasonable. Why do I have to move out right now?
Because I can't forgive people like you who try and take advantage of my parents' kindness. Just because they offer to babysit doesn't mean you can use them like they're a daycare service. I never liked you, even before you married David, but I thought I should respect his choice of partner. Now I know that I should have made more of an argument against you when I had the chance. That laid-back attitude of yours really pisses me off.
I'm sorry, our conversation wasn't going anywhere, so I asked if anyone knew why you'd suddenly start acting like this, and your husband told me what's been going on. I heard that you're going to get divorced. That's why you're so desperate to kick me out, isn't it?
What? What are you talking about? Why would you talk to my husband behind my back?
When I asked your mom, she told me that she hadn't heard anything about you planning to move in and confirmed that she hadn't agreed to anything like that. She didn't understand why you were being so aggressive towards me. She hadn't seen you in person for a while and was worried about you, so she called your husband to ask about you. He told her about the divorce and a lot of other things.
My mom did? Seriously? She called my husband? What else did she hear?
She found out that your husband went to stay with his parents until the divorce is over. He told us that he had asked you to move out as soon as possible because he can't keep on going to work from his parents' house, and because he doesn't want to see you anymore. That's why you suddenly decided that you wanted to move in with your parents, but didn't tell them anything because you wanted to avoid telling them why you're getting a divorce.
Yeah, so what? It's private. It's none of your business. I don't have to explain myself to you. All you have to do is hurry up and leave so that I can move in.
You want to move in because you have nowhere else to go. All that talk about not trusting me and not being able to forgive me for using your parents was all just an excuse to cover up your own mistakes. You don't even know what condition your parents are in.
What? What are you talking about? What do you mean my parents' condition? They're fine.
Your dad isn't as fine as you think. I'm the one that's currently taking care of him.
Huh? Taking care of him? Why are you acting like that's such a special thing? Of course you should be taking care of him. Don't be lazy.
It's a lot more serious than that. I mean that ever since he collapsed last year, he's needed more support doing day-to-day tasks. Seems like you were just satisfied that he was still alive, so you never came to see how he was doing. You don't know it, but he's been really frail. It's the main reason why David and I decided that we should move in with your parents, because it would be too difficult for your mom to take care of him by herself, and it would be easier on us if we were in the same house rather than going to visit several times a week.
I didn't know that he needed care. What? Does he need help going to the toilet? Why didn't you tell me that sooner?
I would have told you, but you never asked. You didn't seem to care about your parents' needs since you always only contacted them when you needed something, and whenever your mom calls, you always let it go to voicemail. You may not know this, but she always is so disappointed that she can never even hear your voice.
Sometimes I just can't get to the phone. What's so bad about that? Give me a break.
Like when? Like when you're having an affair, for example? I can imagine that it would be really awkward for you to answer the phone when you're busy with a guy that isn't your husband.
What? I'm not having an affair. Did my husband say that I was having an affair? Because he's lying.
You cheated and got pregnant, and when Haley was born, your youngest daughter's dad is the man you're having an affair with.
Of course not.
But that's the reason why you're getting divorced, right? He already told us that he filed for a fault divorce because he didn't want to have to suffer the whole separation period, which means that your husband already has evidence, like a DNA test. There's no point trying to pretend you didn't do anything wrong. Your mom didn't know, of course, and was apologizing to your husband. She didn't think that you were selfish enough to break up your own family, but that's exactly what you've done. Your husband was surprised that your parents didn't know anything, too.
Ugh, you're so annoying. But, just like you said, there's no point pretending it never happened if you know the truth. Will you lend me some money?
What? Where did that come from?
You got a part-time job, right? So you must have some money to spare. I need to borrow some. I can't pay off the damages to my husband by myself. Ugh, he demanded a lot, even though he knows I haven't been working since we married. Oh, and I'm planning to move into my parents' house at the end of the month, so I'll give you until then to get rid of your stuff. I'd be grateful if you prepared some money for me to borrow then, too.
What are you talking about? Do you really think I'll do anything for you now I know why you're asking for all of this? Plus, your mom is saying that she won't let you kick us out, especially since I'm clearly more willing to be your dad's caregiver. Maybe you should just find a job and rent your own apartment instead of assuming that everyone around you will clean up after you.
But I don't want to. Do you expect me to get a job in a supermarket or something? That's so embarrassing. And it'll be hard to find an apartment that's suitable for kids.
Your husband was saying that he would take custody of the children. He's already taken the older two with him to his parents, hasn't he? You might as well just let him take Haley too, since he's offering. He has the means to raise them, you don't. You need to do something about that first.
If I give up all my children, I won't be able to demand that he pay child support. I can't do anything without that. He makes a lot of money, so I can demand as much as I want.
Are you being serious? Is that the only reason why you want to take your kids back? Because you won't be able to receive child support without them? You want to use your children to get money. What kind of mother are you? Anyway, I've just spoken to David. He agrees with me that we shouldn't support you financially. You need to get a job and work for it yourself. If you really love your children, you'd understand that that's what's best for them too, now that you're divorced. Besides, we don't have money to spare. We're saving so that we can get my license as a caregiver. That way I can get benefits for taking care of your dad and I won't have to go to work. I can support him full time. I imagine that's impossible for you, so give up on moving in with your parents.
Then what am I supposed to do? I won't have anywhere to go.
Why don't you ask your paramour?
He has a family too. I can't ask him for money. Are you an idiot?
Clearly you're the idiot, since you've been asking me for money and more this entire conversation. Anyway, we're not going to support you at all. You've just got to sort things out yourself. If you really want to live with your parents and really do want to kick us out, you should consider that if you do that, you'll have to take care of your dad 24/7. He needs a lot of care and you'll need a lot of resolve.
Ugh, I can't do that.
Your mom was doing her best all by herself until we moved in, but it was becoming a strain on her, and that's why I've taken over most of the responsibilities. It's easier on her to take care of a 1-year-old that only weighs a few kilos rather than a grown man. So yeah, I don't think you can either. But you're the one that said the eldest daughter should take care of her own parents, remember?
Then you should just call a professional to do that.
Then can you provide the money for that service?
No, I can't, but...
Then stop being so irresponsible.
Oh, fine. I won't try and kick you out. So just lend me some money. That's all I ask. I'll pay you back, I swear. You can trust me. I need to pay my husband or he'll take all of my children from me. You understand, don't you? You're a mother too. How would you feel if you were about to lose your children? I can't give them up.
I don't understand at all. I don't understand the feelings of someone who prioritizes their affair over their own children. Your husband told us that you left your children unattended while you went out to meet with your lover. And you only want your children back because you want child support so you don't have to work. I don't want to understand how your brain works at all. If you won't take care of your dad or even try, and you don't have the money to pay for a professional, then you should try taking care of yourself first and get a job. Maybe if you show that you're willing to pay, your husband will let you pay installments instead. You'll learn more about being a decent human being if you learn that there are consequences to your actions.
What do I do about my children? What about the child support?
You're still going on about the child support? If that's all you can think of, then you've got a long way to go. And I suggest that if you care at all for your children, you'll let your husband take custody. They deserve that much at least. If someone as irresponsible as you raises them, I hate to imagine what kind of people they'll grow into. Anyways, do your best. Good luck with your job search. I hope you're happy. Helen finally gave up on trying to force Amy out of her parents' house, but she hadn't learned her lesson and called her mother to try and convince her to help her. Of course, her mother wasn't interested in hearing her excuses and only told her what Amy had been messaging her all this time. Helen was told that she couldn't depend on her parents to save her because she was a grown woman and needed to fix her own mess. Her mother even went so far as to tell her to never come home. It looks like Helen's own parents had gotten sick of her taking advantage of their love for her and warned her to never expect them to lend her money or run errands for her ever again. In the end, her 2 older children were taken by her husband, and she couldn't demand that he pay child support since her youngest daughter wasn't actually his. Her lover wouldn't acknowledge that Haley was his daughter either because he had a family, so nobody was obliged to pay child support. Haley was stuck with Helen as her mother, so Amy decided that she would sometimes visit them to see if Helen was actually working and doing her best to raise her daughter. Helen seems to have finally accepted her fate and is working day and night to pay her husband his settlement and to raise Haley.
Hey, I heard that you were going to be getting married from Mom. So, tell me, who's the lucky guy? Probably some poor sap really down on his luck, huh?
Hey there, sis. Glad to see that you're as rude as ever. I guess that means you must be doing well then, right?
So it is true. Are you really going to be getting married? What's the person like? I bet they're just some scammer after your money. Who else would want to marry you?
Can you please just cut it out already, Teresa? I mean, we haven't talked in ages, and this is how you greet your little sister? I thought you might have been just a little more excited to hear that I was getting married. Or is it that your life is going so horribly that you have nothing better to do but take others down?
You wish that were the case, dork. I just want to remind you that no matter how hard you try, you'll never be happy. Especially not as happy as I am with my amazing husband. You're just a bottom-dwelling piece of trash, and nothing is going to change that.
Okay, did you message me because you wanted to talk about something, or is this it? Because I never remember even asking you to message me for anything. If you want to congratulate me on my wedding, then do so and leave me alone.
Oh, right, that reminds me. I heard about where it was that you were going to be holding your wedding.
I guess news really does travel fast these days, doesn't it?
You really think that your wedding is going to be good enough to make it worth holding at a place like that? What are you, a moron or something?
What are you even talking about, Teresa? If you have a problem with where I'm holding my wedding, then you should just come out and say it. Why are you even acting like this anyways? We're both adults, but sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who acts like it.
Oh, really? You think you're so much more mature than me, huh? Well, I think that you're just getting upset because you know that what I'm saying is true.
I really don't think that at all. Like, even one bit.
All I'm saying is that the place you got for your wedding is way too good for the likes of you. And just how many people are you going to be inviting anyways? You seriously need to learn your place.
Wait a second. Are you just mad about where I'm getting married because it's in a bigger venue than where you did?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you really think I would let myself be bothered by something so stupid? I just think that you're getting a bit uppity and need to stay where you belong.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I don't think there's anything to be worried about. My fiancé made the reservations, and I think most of the guests there are going to be his anyways. He was going to be inviting friends and family, but also some people from his work as well as business partners. Does that make you feel better about the whole thing?
So what? Your husband works for some kind of big company or something like that? Is that your way of trying to brag about him to me?
No, he doesn't work for a company or anything like that at all.
Wait, what? So then he's just a freelancer or something like that then?
No, he's not that either. He just invests in the stock market and makes money that way. I don't really know all the details personally.
Wait, what? Is that the best you could come up with? So, basically, you're getting married to some small-time freelancer, and you think I'm not going to go after you for that.
Well, it would certainly mean a lot to me if you didn't bully me for who I'm going to marry. I don't really see how who I marry or where I do is really any concern of yours. So I think you'd be better off just not worrying about that at all.
You really are a stupid little girl, do you know that? Sometimes I wish I could live in the fantasy world that you've made for yourself.
I'm sorry, Teresa, but putting down others isn't going to change anything about your own life. Maybe you should just worry about your own stuff and leave me alone. Anyways, when I have more details about the wedding, I'll let you know. But don't think you're under any obligation to be there. I would hate for you to lower yourself just for me.
I found out who your husband is, Max.
What are you talking about this time, Teresa?
I really couldn't believe that it was him when I saw what he was wearing while going out into town. You really did marry some lowly little freelancer, didn't you?
Teresa, I really think you have no idea what you're even talking about.
No. I went around where you live and I saw your husband going out. At first I was like, is that really her husband? I mean, I thought that you didn't have any sense of fashion, but this guy looked like he might have been homeless or something. Just what state could your home be in, I wonder?
Well, he works at home and was probably just going out to buy some lunch for himself. Is that really so weird to do? And just what are you doing coming around where I live to spy on us? That's pretty creepy, you know?
Creepy? How is it creepy for your older sister to see how you're living?
Well, I guess I don't really mind since we're going to be moving out soon, but still, can you quit creeping around us?
I knew it! I knew that you were too embarrassed to tell me about your husband because he's just some shut-in slob. Do our parents know that you're marrying this guy?
I didn't think I needed their permission to marry who I want. But what I do want is for you to quit creeping around my house and spying on me.
Man, I sure am glad that I married the man that I did. If I married some creepy-looking loser like you, I don't know how I would live with myself.
You seriously just need to learn to mind your own business and stay out of mine.
Hey there, sis. Just wanted to let you know that we won't be showing up to your wedding today.
Are you kidding me? The wedding starts in 10 minutes, Teresa.
That sounds like a you problem. You should just be grateful that I said anything to you at all. I know all about how you're just holding this wedding to scam people via wedding gifts. You just want everyone to buy you expensive stuff so that you can go and sell it all online and make a little money, huh? Well, my husband and I are just sitting here laughing at the state of your life right now.
And just where in the world did you get the idea that that was happening? It seems to me like you're very quick to judge about things you know nothing about. But are you seriously not going to show up to my wedding at all? Did you seriously just last-minute cancel on your own sister's wedding?
It sure seems that way, doesn't it? But this is what you get for forgetting your place and trying to be something that you're not.
Well, thank you so much for texting me to remind me of that. And fine, don't show up. Have it your way.
I bet you two are dressed in just some of the shabbiest wedding clothes ever known to man. I can almost see it now. Man, what a sad, pathetic sight it's got to be.
Well, then don't bother coming. It sounds to me like you've already made up your mind about that.
I bet we're not the only ones who canceled. Who would even want to be there for you anyways?
Well, actually, things are going great, and there are even a few famous people at this great venue we booked. So we don't want or need your company.
Famous people? Is that supposed to be a joke?
No, it's not a joke. In fact, I just want you to know that I don't even think of you as my sister anymore. So even if you tried to come in, you wouldn't be able to. If you're curious for answers, maybe you should Google my husband's name and see what comes up.
Max, what the heck is the meaning of all this, huh? Why aren't I being let into your wedding? What the heck is going on?
I already told you that you wouldn't be able to get in if you tried, didn't I?
But you were being serious about that?
Of course I was. I didn't want you here ruining the day, not just for me, but for Mom and Dad, too. And just what are you doing showing up so late to my wedding anyways?
What am I doing? I want to know what you're doing. You said your husband was an investor, but when I Googled him, a bunch of TV clips came up where he's being interviewed about the market? I had no idea he was such a big deal in the finance world. Even I've heard of him, and I don't even follow that kind of news.
Okay, well, thank you for telling me that, but what do you want me to do about it? You already knew what he looked like when you were spying on us, although he normally isn't dressed like that when he goes on TV.
But I had no idea what he even looked like, much less what he looked like in street clothes. And I had no idea that you were going to be marrying such a rich guy. But that means that you have to just be marrying him for his money, right? This is all just part of a big plot of yours, isn't it?
Can you please just give it a rest already, Teresa?
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I work as an editor for a rather large business magazine. That's how we met. We bonded over mutual interests, and now we're getting married, and that's it.
But you're really just after him for his money, right? You should have introduced me to him when you met him. I'm a way better match for him than you are.
You literally had no idea who he was until just a moment ago. Can you please stop acting like you're owed anything?
But it isn't fair! I'm way prettier than you! Why do you get a husband like that?
I don't know what you want me to say to that. He is marrying me because he loves me, and that's that. If anyone is thinking about marrying someone just for the money, it's you. You had no interest in my fiancé at all until you found out who he really was. Don't try and lump me in with people like you.
What do you mean? Why are you being so mean to me? I didn't even do anything.
Except that you've been putting down my husband while knowing nothing about him, despite the fact that you've also been stalking us like a creep. So if you want to know why you're not being let into our wedding, you can start there.
But you're my sister? I have to be there at your wedding.
I thought I already told you that you aren't my sister anymore. I want nothing to do with you ever again. Got it?
You think you can treat me like this just because you're getting married to a rich guy? Well, I'll just steal him right from under you. What do you think of that?
I think that you're talking nonsense and you don't even realize what you're saying. And that's just another reason why we're not letting you in. You're just here to make a big scene and ruin my wedding.
But I haven't even done anything wrong. How can you just accuse me like that?
We literally hired security for our wedding with you showing up and trying to do something like you are right now in mind. All you're doing is embarrassing yourself right now. Why don't you save some of your pride and just go home already, Teresa?
But this isn't fair! I got dressed up and came all the way here, and now you're telling me that you're not going to let me in? It's outrageous. How could you do this to me? All I did was cancel at the last minute. Is that really so bad?
I think that you only have yourself to blame for all of this, and that it's not fair for you to act like I'm being unfair right now. Just leave and save yourself more embarrassment. You're being filmed by the security cameras, you know.
But I really want to go to your wedding now that I knew famous people are going to be there. You have to introduce me to someone, please.
Aren't you married?
Forget about that. What about after the wedding is over? Is there going to be a reception somewhere? Maybe I can just meet you all there, right? Please tell me where to go.
Just go home already, Teresa. You know, this wedding might show up in some newspapers somewhere. Can you please just go before people find out that we're related? You're going to embarrass me and our family.
Excuse me. I'm going to embarrass our family. How dare you look down on me like that? Who do you think you are? You know, Mom and Dad reached out to me after I told you I wasn't going to your wedding, and they told me to never contact them again. You're trying to cut me out of your life when I didn't even do anything. My life's falling apart right now, and it's all your fault. You have to help me out somehow.
Why should I help you out with anything when this is all your fault?
What do you mean by that? That doesn't make any sense.
I really don't know what you even think I can do for you at this point. There are already rumors flying around the wedding about the crazy lady asking to be let in. There would be no point in joining the wedding now. The best you can do is just turn around and go home to save face. All you're doing now is making yourself look bad.
I'm the one making me look bad. You've got some nerve telling that to me. This is all your fault, you little brat.
I don't have time for this anymore. I know that you've built yourself up by tearing me down, but I am not going to stand for it anymore. I am cutting you out of my life. Please never, ever contact me again. Just leave me alone, Teresa.
But what about the wedding? I still want in. You can't just turn me away like this. I'm really sorry for canceling last minute, but please?
I've already given you my answer. Now please go home and get out of my life. After that, I just started ignoring my sister's texts. As she got more and more frustrated with not being let into the venue, she began acting out more and more. It got to the point where people began filming her antics and uploading them online, where she became somewhat viral. Her newfound popularity from screaming to be let inside of this celebrity wedding was enough to affect her husband, who was quickly identified after she went viral. It didn't take long after that for him to ask Teresa for a divorce. With no husband or family willing to talk to her, Teresa was left all alone. I'm sure she tried reaching out to me for help, but I had already blocked her on all social media, and she had no way of contacting me. Teresa hadn't worked since getting married and so had no savings of her own to speak of. I really have no idea what happened to her since then, but I've put her behind me and have concentrated on my own happiness with my loving husband and parents.